Oh, hey there. So I was driving home and I was thinking, I used to do other jobs. And even though I work hard now, I feel like I'm doing what I was made for. And then I was thinking about things that are made for a specific purpose. And if they're used for the wrong purpose, then how dumb would that be? Then I thought, a chainsaw is really good at cutting down trees and cutting things up. But if you're like, I want to use this chainsaw to cut hair, you'd be like, this could end badly. Don't do it. You're better than this. Use the chainsaw to cut down the tree. And people are made for a specific purpose too. And God has made us for a thing. And I think that oftentimes we choose what's safe and what other people tell us that we should be. And then we're miserable because we're doing something we're not made for. So let me tell you a quick story. I used to own a music venue, Dream World Music Complex in Arlington, and I had that for quite some time. And there came a point I was like, I do like music, I love music, but I feel like I need to go into TV and movies and acting and things. And this was 20 something years ago. And so I was living in an apartment at the time because I just got divorced for the first time. And I had weird hours. Okay, so I worked late because I owned the venue, and so the show was over, and I walked down to the park, and I was just sitting on the swings, and I was just thinking, and I was praying, and I was like, God, look, I want to sell this venue. I want to go into movies and video production and these things. But whatever you will, that's what I want to do, because you know better than I do. You can see down the road. You know what I'm made for. And I know that if it's not your will, that there could be 10,000 people that would want to buy this and have the money to buy this right across the street, and you would make it where they couldn't even see the sign. However, if you want this to happen, there could be one person in the entire world that was right for this, and you could bring them across the world over here. Either way, I'm happy. I'm grateful for everything that you've done for me, and I want to do what you want me to do. And I left. I started walking home. As I was walking home, and it wasn't that far, okay? It was around the corner. But as I was walking home, there was an Ace Hardware. And I lived basically across the street from this Ace Hardware. I never noticed any music playing there, ever, okay? But as I'm walking up, and I get within earshot of it, then on the outside stereo at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, Billy Joel's song, The Piano Man, is on. And it comes to this part as I walk up. John at the bar is a friend of mine. He gets me my drinks for free. He's quick with a joke and to light up your smoke, but there's someplace that he'd rather be. He says, Bill, I believe this is killing me, as a smile ran away from his face. I believe I could be a movie star if I could get out of this place. And I was like, what are the odds of that playing? Now, it wasn't a bar, okay, what I owned. It was a music venue. I didn't serve any alcohol, but what are the odds that that's playing? John at the bar is a friend of mine, and he's quick with a joke, and but there's someplace he'd rather be. He wants to be a movie star. And I'm like, what? Look at that. I was like, how strange. And then I went to bed late. And very early, my grandfather, who reads the paper, called up. He goes, John, you're in the New York Times. I'm like, what? How would I possibly be in the New York Times? He goes, look it up. I was reading the paper, and there you were. There's your face all over. You're in the New York Times. I'm like, oh, what? So for the first and only time in my life, I bought a copy of the New York Times and opened it up, and sure enough, there was a multi-page article. And I'm like, when did I do this? I don't even remember doing this interview. And then I was like, I remember that band. They came through, and I was nice to the guy, right? There was somebody that was on tour with them, and it was Amberlin is the name of the band. And they came through, and they were all talking, and there was just some guy with them, and I talked to him. And he asked me a bunch of questions. I answered him and went on about my day. I didn't realize he wrote for the New York Times. And he had taken pictures. Yeah, I pose for every picture. Everybody pulls a camera out. And it turns out that there was, like Christian venue owners, Christian music, whatever, big, long article. And shortly after that, I did sell Dreamworld, and I did end up going into video production and touring all over the world and stuff. And I do many other things, right? I'm going to be honest with you. I work hard building houses and flipping houses and doing construction. And I feel like I am doing what I'm made for. I feel like men should work hard. I feel like men are meant to go out and wear themselves out every day, to live a life of adventure. And that means that you come upon struggles and obstacles and you conquer them and you beat them. At the end of the day, you don't just get defeated and go, oh, well, I guess I'll take my medication or whatever. Like, you're a man. Man up and do some hard work. Protect your family and, like, provide for them. And in my case, not just my family, but many other families. I feel fulfilled in that. There are lots of things that I do that I do feel fulfilled in, but I just wanted to share, I think, that story. So this is another quick story, and I realize I'm going long on this, but I just went to a Bible study. I worked all day. I went to a Bible study, and then I was like, it's still kind of early, and I'm like, I've got options on where I could go, because I've got a friend's band that's playing. I was like, but I am kind of tired, and I've got to play 2 shows tomorrow and go to the zoo. And I was like, what do I want to do? And I look up, and there's a huge billboard that says, choose sleep. I'm like, probably should. Good choice. Because it's such a rare, like, out of the ordinary thing. I was like, and it was perfectly timed. I'm like, okay, God, I'm going to go home and go to sleep. So I made this video before I went to sleep. Love you guys. Have a good night. I hope that you find your purpose and that you find what makes you complete and what you're made for.